this then. It's the Servis M6702. This were the, not quite the last ones to be produced by Maloney, but they were kind of second to last. Basically you had these, and then you had the 0.5 kilo versions after that, which they really were the last of the last. Right, so we got a 7 kilo low capacity, a 1200 spin. The spin gets a C energy rating. Talking mid 2000s, this was basically produced in 2006 and 2007, with the 5s taking over in 2007 till Maloney went bump. Yeah. But these are quite rare, both these and the 0.5s. They sold a lot of them. I remember quite a lot of people having them, but they're all broke. They've all gone. Yeah. And they've all gone for pretty much the same reason. Now, this was Maloney's new updated drums. They've been running with the old, like really big back thing with the 4 speed paddles for a very long time, and I think it had its day in the fact that obviously you can't go beyond 6 kilo with it. So they decided to make bigger drums and redesign the drum. However, this meant that instead of having a steel outer tub, steel outer tubs even in 2005 with those old Maloney things, we now had a plastic outer tub, which meant you had bearings that were then pushed into plastic. This meant early onset bearing failure. But also, if it wasn't that, the spider failed also a lot. But the biggest thing, even if you looked after the machine all you wanted, and you ran with powder and you ran hot, on the hotter cycles, and kept your bearings so they were always clean and the seal was always intact, the board would give out eventually. Yeah. This is why none of them really exist anymore. In fact, I'm quite surprised even this one is still here. When I first got it, I thought the spider or the bearings were going. It made a clunking noise. It's still there, but it's fortunately not noise on spin. Yeah. Right, I'll start off with one thing from Servis that you did get, which was this wide opening door actually. It's quite rare to have something wider than 30 centimetres, and indeed, I think, I'm right in saying this is a 32 or 33 centimetre opening door. This was rare. The only things that had wider opening doors than the standard 30s were pretty much, I think, just Electrolux Insights. They had the wider opening door, and that was about it. Everything else had a 30 centimetre opening door, regardless of what brand it was. It wasn't until a bit later on, or until the Primes started coming out within the set, that they got their wider opening door. Maloney Servis were already there with their wider opening doors. And it didn't matter what kilogram size you had, you always got this wide opening door, which was neat. So they did them in 6 kilo, 7 kilo and 8 kilo formats, and you had 1200 or 1400 spin variants. This is a 7 kilo variant. Obviously I got my 8 kilo, which is broke, with a broken board. But when I bought this, I didn't care if the bearings and spider went, as long as the board works, and the board works. But the spider and the drum bearings are still actually okay, so I'm going to keep this for now. I'm going to keep both, to be honest. You don't know when the bearings are going to go in this. I'm going to keep both for now. I don't plan on throwing the other one. I do plan on trying fixing it, maybe, hopefully, one day. But I honestly don't need 2 services. Yeah. Right. Enough rambling on. Let's have a look. Right, at the bottom here, we've got our drain flap for our filter. You push there and it comes down. Right, so they've updated the design of the drain pump on this series. So this is pretty much what you're seeing now on an Indesit. Undo that, pull it out, the pump is actually there. On the old-fashioned ones, it was a pull-out filter and the pump used to be at the back. That's all gone now, made more simpler. But we've got our model number and serial number there. Serial number is 2006 35 11 91. So I'm going to guess this was made in 2006, week 35. You can confirm that down below in the comments. Door handle. So the door handle's behind here. To be honest, with this design, this actually improved the door design. The old designs were, especially on the KRSs, they were horrendous. Because you had a little tiny handle that you pulled against, they always snapped. But because of this design, it means you can't snap it. But that also being said, if you try and slam this, it will sometimes not quite go in. As we can see, we've got a little bit of damage on the door lock. The door has clearly dropped somewhere. Again, we've got our model number there, our serial number there, so you can see it. Very, very important helpline for every time it goes wrong, and the spares hotline as well, which you're going to need. And then the old sticker, which is still there, it's quite faded now, but that is for your guarantee. There is something I do like about the design of this machine, and it's this door hinge. Now, ready? You come open like that. Yep. Want to go more? Ah, see? And believe it or not, this opens 180 degrees. Yeah. Very, very few machines. In fact, I don't think any others actually did it. Most open to 165, but 180? Yeah. Let's take a look at the updated drum then. And we got a 7 kilogram drum here. If you got the 8 kilo, it did go even bigger. It really went deeper. The 6 kilo would shave this bit off. So there was, a need to go from 6, 7, 8 kilo. However, it is indeed 4 drum paddles. Yeah, not going away from this one. It's still 4 drum paddles. But with them being plastic, and they are a good, nearly an inch tall. The paddling on this, if you put a small load in, unlike the old machines, this will paddle a small load. Door seal, and of course we've got our little hole there, which just basically attaches back to the tub here, so water doesn't gather and go and make the seal mouldy. Right, we've got our dispenser drawer here. 7 kilo, 1200 spin, A plus energy rating, A wash and C spin. It's yellowed. In fact, this is also yellowed, but this is yellowed more. Yes, it's silver, not white, but silver still yellows. And this happened on all services. Yeah. Right, we've got our dial with 15 programs. We've got this at the top, which is reset. It's also the on and off. If you're in a cycle and you want to cancel the cycle, whilst you're in that cycle, just turn it from whatever program you're at to reset. What it will do then is cancel the cycle, drain the water, and then switch off. We've got a choice of 19 different programs to choose from. We'll start with this side here. All these are cottons. So they all spin at 1200 RPM. Max spin, of course, is 7 kilograms. And 2 hours wash time. Yeah, actually, these timings are indeed pretty spot on to a degree. Of course, the machine has to balance the load. It doesn't take too much to balance it actually. So yeah, they're spot on. You've also got six option buttons here. One's time delay, one is variable spin speed, so you've got 4 wash modifiers here. Right, cotton 90 antibacterial. We've got our time delay here. And we've got a max time delay, I think it's 12 hours. Or was it 16 hours? Yeah, time delay of 16 hours. Bit of an odd one, really. Spin speed. You can go down in 100 RPM steps. The button's not brilliant on this. 100 RPM steps to 500. Then 00 means no spin. And it will cancel all the spins, I think. I've not actually tried it yet. But judging the fact that it's only taken 4 minutes off at the end, rather than the actual 10, I suspect it cancels the intermediate spins and adds rinses on. Just wondering that. I should try that. Anyway, we've got Stay in Action, which is a pre-wash. It actually does a... Wait, is that right? It adds on a 40-degree pre-wash. Yeah. 40-degree pre-wash before the main wash. Not many machines do that. Most of them do 30. Then you got Eco Wash, which is actually just intensive. That's all it does. It doesn't save any energy or water except for on one program, and of course that is on 60, Cotton 60. But more of that in a minute. Then we've got Extra Rinse, which will up the rinse count from 3 to 4. Then we've got Easy Iron, which will lower the spin to 800 RPM. It will do a series of anti-crease tumbles on the final spin, and then it will do quite a long anti-crease stage at the end of the cycle. Right. And of course you can combine these options. Right, then we've got Cotton's 75, unique to Servis, and pretty much Miele and Smeg, they have a 75-degree program. Very rare you get 75 degrees on any washing machine. And it's labelled as Cotton 75. Now this is the thing as well. We're going to go around in a minute. So then we've got Towels 60. It's not actually Towels program, it's just Cotton 60. And it's basically suggesting what the program is to be used for. The idea is that you can see it and go, oh yeah, I'm washing whatever, I'm going to use that program then. So yeah, if you use Eco Wash on this, it increases the time by about 16 minutes. Then we've got Daily 40. Eco Wash now only adds on 10 minutes, yeah. And same with the Mix 30. No, it's on 6 minutes. Yeah, it's all over the place, Eco Wash. All of them are for 7 kilograms of cottons. And we've got Sports Wash, also known as Synthetics 60 degrees. Lowers the spin speed to 800. Max load is half, 3.5 kilograms. And of course you can add on all the options as well here. In fact, just to note here, Eco Wash does increase the time by around half an hour or so on all the synthetics programs. Yeah, max spin of course 800, that can go down. So we've got Sports Wash at 60, Jeans 40, also known as Synthetics 40, and then we've got Daily 30, which is Synthetics 30, and then we've got Baby and Toddler. Now the spin speed drops. Baby and Toddler 40 and Silks 30 are your delicate programs. Max load is still 3.5 kilograms. Yeah, that's why they only spin at 500 RPM. And apart from Easy Iron, there's no other options. 500 or no spin. Right, I'll also just show you something as well. If you just noticed then, you see the time that slightly went a bit awry. This is all to do with the dial. In fact, when I first got the machine, none of these buttons actually really wanted to work. It wasn't until I actually cleaned between the buttons that it started working again. Same with this dial. Since I cleaned the dial, it's been fine, but quite often, if you get the machine, you'll turn to a program and it'll just start flicking around. It's all to do with the contacts inside here. Then we've got freshen up at 40, jumpers at 30, and cold. These are all the wool programs. Max load 1.5 kilo, and indeed uses a very gentle action with a high water level. Then we've got the hand wash lingerie program at 30 degrees. It's the hand wash program. So it does a lot more water, it uses more water, no intermediate spins, but does obviously a bit of a faster spin. I think it does like a wool spin at the end. Now there's no options for it. Then we've got the quick wash, 35 degree, 40 minute. This has been carried over for the last few generations of service, including this one. Allows you to wash, again, half a load of lightly soiled cottons and synthetics, sort of. So it does 35 degree wash, 2 rinses, and a short final spin of 1000 RPM. Remember. And there's no options. Then we've got Delicate 40. It's made for washing cottons. You heard that right. It's made for washing cottons. 5 kilograms of, well, cottons and mixed fabrics, basically, all at 40 degrees. Essentially, this is delicate colours, not delicates. Yeah, there's a reason why I said these two are delicates and not that. Delicate colours. 1 hour 18, so it's about half an hour shorter than the normal daily 40. It is made for washing 5 kilograms of cottons, and it does work rather well, actually. So apart from Eco Wash, you can add on all the other options as well. Then we've got Cold Wash, made for washing a max load of 7 kilograms. Spins obviously at 1200 RPM, made for washing cottons. Basically, it's cottons cold. There's no joke there. There's nothing different. It should have actually just been over here, realistically. But maybe it wouldn't look right, and they thought, oh, put it over here, it makes it look like it's a special program, when it's not. Then we've got Shower and Rinse, which is rinses and followed by a final spin at 1200 RPM. Cotton rinses as well, which you can also add on a further extra rinse. Then we've got spin only, 10 minutes long, cotton spin at 1200 RPM. You can reduce that spin as well. And again, if you select 00, it does a drain only. Not for 6 minutes though. It will actually sense the drain. So once it senses there's no water in it anymore, it will just stop. I think it runs for 1 minute regardless, and then after that, if it needs any more, it will carry on running. But if it doesn't, it will switch off. So you turn drawer, split into 3 compartments. So you got 1 here for your pre-wash, 2 here for your main wash, and then optional fabric softener can go in here. So if you select the stain action, remember to put detergent in both sides. If you look more closely here, this lifts out, and this can be put into 1 or 2 spaces. You can either put it in there, or you can put it into there. I don't know why they're giving you 2 different sections, but essentially you can add liquid detergent to the main wash. Fabric softener, don't go beyond here. But you can put your fabric softener in here or here. Doesn't matter. There's that little, it hasn't flown backwards, but it will. It is there. And to move the drawer, push that down and pull your drawer out. Right, so we're going to give this out of 10 then. Well, there's obviously a lot of things to consider. We'll start off with the fact that this machine was actually very cheap to buy. In fact, you could probably pick up these 7kg models for about £239. They were seriously cheap. Service always were, and continued to be, even right up to, well, you know, the end of Maloney. Yeah, and that may have been their downfall, because build quality wise as well, interestingly, compared to everything else at the time, this is still rather good. The older Maloney's were always better than their other counterparts, and this is no different. Yeah, compared to the likes of Indesit, or Hotpoint, or even Hoover, this seemingly was a little bit better. It's quick too. That whole cycle took, what, an hour 40? It reduced the time by 20 minutes. On a 75-degree cycle? This is quick. That is quick. And that's all thanks to the big heater that's in these. Also thanks to the simplistic kind of programming too. Yeah, it'll happily do sort of 3 rinses in a spin quite quickly. There are a few downsides though to it. Oh, and there's one other upside as well. This machine may have not been leveled the entire time I filmed it, not once has it rocked up and down. And yet, yeah, the foot was that much off. I probably just didn't realise. And yet, there was no giveaway. There's also no vibration either. Well, that is until you put it under a counter. Then you get all the vibration through the counter, not the actual machine. However, for all its upsides and build and sturdiness, there are downsides to this as well. We'll start off with the reliability. The board, the drum spider, the bearings, this control panel at the top. It's just everything's just designed to go wrong. Even the pump would also go wrong. They weren't great when it came to reliability. I think if you actually give me one, I wouldn't hate this in any way. It's not like a Vestal or a Midia. And talking of which as well, it doesn't seem to give two monkeys about balancing. It will balance to a degree, but it doesn't have to be perfect. And then when it does spin, it doesn't bounce about. It doesn't vibrate like an Indesit or a Hotpoint or a Hoover or a Beko or anything like that. That also being said, some downsides are this is the top of the range models that you can get, and they're still to be desired. In terms of spin speed as well, you only got 1400 models. There was no 1600 like there was in the past, which is a bit disappointing really. And the fact that there was no sort of variable temperature option on any of these either. Every single service had their temperatures listed out around the dial like so. It's a bit hard to kind of judge it really and where to place it. I certainly don't hate this machine in any way. I actually do. I'm quite fond of it actually. It doesn't really give two monkeys about a lot of things, including suds-locking as well. Just kind of carries on a bit. But at the same time, adding that build quality and just how rubbish it was, yeah, I'm going to give this 5 out of 10. It's quite disappointing for what it is. I like it personally. You know, it does wash okay. It rinses okay. Its spin performance though, just to note though, is exceptionally poor. It's 1200 spin and it feels like it's been spinning at 800 RPM spin. Yeah, it's happily got to 1200. I don't know what it is about it, but just doesn't seem right. And and that's why I'm going to give it 5 out of 10. In fact, the spin performance was always its letdown on these, regardless. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these came with a C spin rate rating, whereas others were coming with a B. Right, I hope you enjoyed this review. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you enjoyed this. Don't forget to comment down below, especially the date. I'm sure it's 2006, but let me know down below. Anything else I got wrong, let me know down below. If you like this machine, let me know. And subscribe if you haven't done so for more washing machine content like this. I'll see you in another video, so bye for now.